Hail and well met, fellow travelers. 'Tis I, Bones McKay, and methinks it's Monday. And Monday, I get to talk about what I want to talk about. And what I want to talk about today is world building. I just want to talk about one of the projects I'm working on. I don't think I'm going to get into all of the information available on this particular project because I am currently staring at a 17,000 word document of just world building, and that is a lot. I am also sitting here with my bird, and she's going to be yelling the entire time, apparently, because your mother forgot that I have to record a video this morning, and you're just gonna yell at me. Yeah. I'm sorry for her. I get a bit noise blind to it. If you don't, I understand. In the meantime, leave a like, a comment, if you will, and please do subscribe. It's fun here. We have a great time. So what I wanted to talk about was, it's not the webcomic that's being drawn right now, because currently what I'm working on here is not that. What I've been world building isn't really in the scripting phase or the art phase, because the art phase comes after the whole scripting thing. It's just in like world building. And I realized that I'm not much of an outliner, but I am a huge world builder. And what I wanted to do with this particular world, we're going to call it Crow Story, Crow World, has nothing really to do with crows. Eventually, when the story actually takes a shape, it might make sense why that's its working title. But for now, doesn't make sense. But I wanted to make like a really super in-depth world like 9 Point, but I wanted to work on it in an art way that's not going to kill Ursula, my artist and my wife. I don't want her dead, so I can't give her another 9 Point. So a lot of the time, me sitting down and world building for 5,000 years is helpful to her because it keeps me out of trouble. It keeps me from writing thousands of pages that she has to draw for webtoons. So basically, I wanted to make something like stupidly crazy in depth, and where I started was actually with a pretty popular map making tool. I'll link it if you've never used it before, but is it Asgar? I think it's called Asgar. I'm not big into making maps. Like, okay, I'm bigger into making maps than most human beings are, but I don't compare to a lot of fantasy writers. Yeah, Asgar. Yeah, that's what it's called. But yeah, it's super helpful, and I use that as a starting off point. I like all the information that you can get from a map like that. I don't know what I'm talking about. So basically, I wanted to make a more world size kind of world. I make a lot of stories, and I've written a lot of different worlds, but I tend to almost think of them as singular continents. Like, I make flat earths. Flat earths, yeah. I make flat worlds because of that. And they tend to be very concise, I don't know, very tightly built, and they're fine. Like, I don't think it's inherently wrong to not build an entire world or suggest that there is an entire other world outside of things. I just wanted to have a bigger scope while I was building this. So I definitely took a very geography first approach. I typically take a magic first approach, but it was almost like a magic second approach. I didn't think the magic out tons. I tend towards lighter magic systems in general. Light in a sense that they aren't very strong. Not that they're not complicated. I love a complicated magic system where very little can be achieved. And there was a comment on my last magic system video forever many years ago that no one would take their time to learn this magic system, and I'll leave the readers confused. And that is where being a good writer just comes in, where you don't have to explain the entirety of your magic system. You only need to explain what is needed to understand whatever scene is coming up, and eventually the magic system gets fleshed out. You know, creating a world, you can make it as complex as you want it to be. You're not limited to that, you know? Like, you're only limited by your ability to explain that world in an engaging way. You have to be a good teacher of your world. So that's my answer to that one. So yeah, the world was built. I don't want to leave a map, guys. I guess I could. I worked so hard on these maps, I might as well share them. I don't know why I'm embarrassed of my map. What is it? What is the word I'm looking for? Style. Yeah, you can have style presets, and I made some interesting choices. But I you know what? I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna share it with you right now so you can see what I'm talking about. Anyways, so that's the world, geography-wise. It's also something I wanted to push myself with is I tend towards writing the exact same climate all the time. I just write the climate that I know. I don't leave that bubble. But in this world, I wanted it to have, you know, North-South Pole and that nice gradient, those nice different weather patterns. Yeah, I just wanted it to be really vast. So that was something that using the map making program really helped push me with. Yeah, that's the geography. A lot bounced off of that. Magic mostly came from my head. So I'm writing Avo right now, right? Side note, working on the webtoon. Avo has a very classic fantasy magic system. There's some bits and bobs to it, but it's a fire, water, earth, wind magic system. There's also light and dark, but are those any more pushing stuff in the right direction? No. It's very classic. I did that for Sovereign. I don't think it's bad, you know? One of the best pieces of media is 4 elements. Like, come on, like there's a reason that it's popular. But I wanted to push myself into making something different, like I did with 9 Point actually. But I also wanted it to be a little more magical than 9 Point, some straight up mages happening here. So the way that magic works is that Aether is used to create varying effects, and there are disciplines of magic, and they work off the same principles, but they're divided into 12 elements. Okay, so everyone has their kind of element, and the 12 elements kind of shape the entire world and the different, like, not species, races, I guess. Yeah, the different races of elves in this world, because this is a world dominated by elves. Heck yeah, we want some pointed ear guys, no humans. This is elves all the way down. So what are the mages? What happens here? Whatever element of mage you are, it will determine your appearance and the types of powers that you have. A mage is a person that has high amounts of Aether within them to a point of excess. And the reason that happens is a multitude of factors. I didn't want it to be bloodline based. I have a blood based magic system in a way in 9 Point, and I just didn't want to do that. I wanted it to be more about environmental factors, but since like environmental factors tend to affect different groups, like different groups of people are going to live within similar environmental factors, and it'll create like the appearance of it being blood-based, so that even though it is technically not in my world-building sense, it is treated as such by a lot of different like groups of people within the world. Like they see it as something that is inherent and is passed down through blood, right? If you are a mage, you have excess power. If you are not a mage, you don't. But also, the less Aether that is within you, the more animalistic you are in appearance. So each element basically has a type of mage with specific powers, and a furry, basically, a furry. You know what, let's just get into the elements. I'll I'll lead through examples, and then I'll go back to some of the other stuff. So elements. Okay, so the first element is the divine element, and divine mages are not typically capable of using magic. So it's a little weird, I guess. Like, they have an excess of magic, but because using divine magic takes so much power, most mages don't even have enough excess magic to do anything with it. Like, divine magic is basically, it's meta magic. It's magic about magic. It's very story based, and I probably won't get into it for that reason, but know that it is very super powerful and cool. So the mages tend to have very long sharp ears compared to other mages. They have the super long ears. They're the Hylians of old, you know, Tears of the Kingdom brained people, such as myself. They've got opal complexions made up of like several hues. They're described as having a scale-like appearance, or even they kind of look like they're always wearing makeup. Beautiful hair, two-toned iridescence. The color combinations are like white, green, blue, orange, and purple. Their irises are based on kind of their iridescent colors, basically. I don't know, they're pretty. Flip side to divine mages is deer-like people, basically. Yeah, different like deer people. I guess we'll further get into that in a little bit. Let's move on to the other elements here. The element of crystal is the next one, and crystal is magic that affects aether crystals. So aether crystals are like dense deposits of like solidified magical energy, and the animal related to crystal is crows. Crystal mages are basically drow. They've got like gray skin, black scleras and irises, and like off-white hair, and their irises, I guess they have like some dark hues of like purple, blue, green, garnet, red, all those, and then their hair is like a kind of whiter, off-white version of that. Things that you can do with crystal magic: you basically can control crystals and affect the density of aether. It's hard to actually describe this because I haven't gone into the disciplines of magic. Oh my god, I guess I'll have to go into the disciplines next. This is probably just going to be with the magic system, I'm realizing. I forgot how in-depth this goes. Arcane. Arcane is the swine magic. It's based around lost magic, ancient magic. The element of arcane is the substrate of the world, is kind of how it goes, and it refers to what existed before the unity of the elements, when there was chaos in the distant ancient past. Very cool. There are like ruins throughout the world that resonate with the arcane element, and that is what arcane mages use and can control. Hearth magic is my favorite magic. Oh right, I forgot. What do arcane wizards look like? Arcane mages, they have green skin, splotchy patterns, and they have eye colors of like red to yellow, that spectrum. The next one is hearth magic. Hearth magic is magic that pertains to home and family. That's what the element is. The animal related to it is horses. Nay. Hearth magic, it's one of like the most common forms of magic because it's very simple to use and it's not super taxing, and you only need like a little excess aether to do that. Most of the magic is conjured through like the hearth, the heart of your family, or like the heart of a community, and things like cooking magic and stuff are related to it. Eventide magic, the element of eventide is the element of death, basically, and the animal related to it is vultures. Eventide mages can control spirits and ghosts. Very cool, very edgy. Oh, I keep forgetting to mention what the mages look like. The hearth mages, they have like natural color skin tones of like a broad range, as well as like some gray shades, and they have like blotchy patterns and like point patterns and piebald patterns. They're prone to having like heterochromia and multicolored hair and stuff. Very cool, very hoarse, very, very sweet. The Eventide mages, they have black or red skin tones. Their hair is almost always black, and they leave dust wherever they touch. They've just got very dusty skin with either like black glitter or red glitter, and they have completely black eyes. Very cool, very edgy. Sylvan mages is another common one. They have magic relating to like animals, and the animal they're related to is foxes. Sylvan mages, they have very textured skin that's almost like bark when you look at it close up. It comes in many textures, and some of it like has the appearance of having like moss and lichen. Sylvan mages, they have hair that matches the surrounding foliage, so it will turn like brown or, you know, red or orange or whatever in the drier months. Sylvan mages have very fire-like eyes, and they reflect their mood and energy. Very cool. Very cool. And they have nature powers. I'm with it. Next one, we got so many elements here, guys. Void magic. Void is related to ravens, and it is all magic that pertains to pure nothingness. Void mages, they have dark opal complexions, sort of like the divine mages, but dark. And they have like a deep base shade, and then they have like flecks of color that gives them shape, and they've got lustrous black hair, iridescent sheen, you know, blue, green, orange, purple, whatever, and their eyes are black with a color that radiates out from the center. Very cool, very edgy. Another edgy mage for us edgy kids. Lucent mages. Lucent pertains to light, all light magic. Lucent mages, their basis is a sheep. They have natural skin tones, and in dark settings, they glow. They have like glowing patterns on their bodies, and their eyes also glow in the dark. Very cool of them. Yeah, and it can be just like any rainbow of colors, and they can change throughout their lifetimes, and they have different patterns. Like they could have scale patterns, star patterns, or like sigils, but that's rare. But still cool. We with it. They can basically do like illusion magic and stuff with their light powers. It's not like a holy light kind of thing. It's just like actual bright, shine it in your face, iPhone opens in the middle of the night kind of light powers. The next mage, super powerful, super cool, are the Tempest mages. They control the element that pertains to disasters, and their animal form, their animal basis is an orca. The mages, they have like skin tones that are like ocean or watercolors, so it's a pretty broad range, and they tend to have like dark eyes, dark hair. Very cute. I'm with it. Not a lot of description there. Curse mages, their element pertains to pain, and their animal counterpart is a spider. Curse mages are brightly colored patterns. They have like splotches, stripes, spots, and all of that can be like a range of like yellows, blues, whites, greens, oranges. They're just very bright. It can come in like gradients, or it can just be like patchy, and they can have like all of those colors or one of them. Like it's complete range all the way, and they have very large black eyes. A lot of edgy black eye mages in this world. We're almost done. We got two more. We got astral mages, and they have space magic that relates to like celestial bodies and whatnot. Their animal relation is a rabbit. They have purple and blue skin tones, and their hair looks like space. And their irises, they contain celestial imaging. Another cool one. We're with you, astral mages. Last one is Rift, and that pertains to the element that creates portals. You know, portals are fun. They are related to mice, and they are incredibly varied and can take on the trait of basically any other mage with no real distinct features of their own. The only way that you can kind of tell is that they can have like impossible combinations of traits. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm half an hour in and I haven't gotten into anything. What do I do? Should I talk about how the different magic works? You know what? No, we're gonna put that off till next week. If I'm still talking about it, I can talk about everything you can do with these powers if you are interested. What I'll talk about now is just the different fantasy races, just because so with the elemental basis, what I wanted to do, and it was kind of hard to explain this to Ursula, is there's a bunch of different fantasy races, right? Because you're gonna be born under one element, and then your level of exposure to aether throughout gestation and some hereditariness or whatever, you inherit one of your parents' elements, but then the level of magic will vastly change what you are in appearance, right? And everyone is an elf, everyone can interbreed in this world. You are all basically the same type of being. However, there are cultures, and different cultures divide up these kind of arbitrary spectrums into different races and things, and that's where the magical races come from. They're not inherent, if that makes sense. You're not going to be a half elf, half centaur or whatever, right? They're all the same thing, but it's delineated culturally, and that was just something important to me to do. And it's just important to me, just I don't know. I thought it would be really cool to have a magical and biological system that doesn't completely match up along cultural lines, I guess. And I didn't want, and further, once I get into that stuff, I didn't want ethno-states, basically. It's pretty easy to divide up your fantasy races into oh, this is the dwarf kingdom, this is the elf kingdom, this is the dragons, this is the angels. Avo is like that. 9 Point's less like that, actually, but 9 Point is also a lot more small. Either way, that's kind of what I wanted. There are definitely some ethno-states that exist within this world, but none of it's not the main dealio, if that makes sense. You know what? This is actually going on way too long. So I'm gonna cut it short here, and maybe next time, if I'm still into this, I will talk to you about the different fantasy races, and I will talk to you about the different magic that can happen. I don't know, is that cool? Is that interesting? I also have countries to talk about. I got religions, I got so much going on here. I got so much going on. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna see if Ursula will edit this for me, because I'm sleepy. Yeah, okay, bye.